Before kickoff, the questions were everywhere. Is he too old? Is the hamstring injury still a problem? Can a 38-year-old man really lead an entire army into another World Cup war? Algeria's coaching staff studied him for weeks. They built a defensive shield specifically to stop him. Extra bodies in midfield, defenders instructed to never leave him alone, not even for a second. It did not matter. In the 17th minute, Messi struck from distance, unstoppable, top corner. On the hour mark, composed, ice cold, he doubled the lead. Then, with 14 minutes left, he finished a third into the bottom corner, and the Algerian goalkeeper could only watch. A hat trick, his very first at a World Cup, at the age of 38. Argentina won 3-0. And somewhere in Kansas City that night, an entire nation's defensive plan didn't just fail, it was dismantled, piece by piece, by one player who refuses to slow down. This is the story of how Lionel Messi is hacking the 2026 World Cup, not with speed, not with power, but with something far more dangerous: intelligence that the modern game still cannot solve. To understand why this hat trick matters so much, you need to understand the battlefield Messi was walking into. The 2026 World Cup is the biggest tournament in football history. 48 teams, 3 host nations, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Bigger stadiums, longer travel, more physical strain on every single player. For a 23-year-old, that is already a brutal test of endurance. For a 38-year-old, coming off a hamstring injury with question marks about his fitness following him into every press conference, many experts believed this tournament was simply too much to ask. Think about what age does to a footballer's body. Less explosive speed, slower recovery between matches, a higher risk of injury with every sprint, every turn, every physical battle for the ball. Father Time is the most undefeated opponent in sport. Nobody beats him. Not Pelé, not Maradona, not anyone. So when Argentina arrived in Kansas City to face Algeria in their opening match, the question hanging over the entire tournament was simple: has Messi finally run out of road? Algeria's manager, Vladimir Petkovic, built his entire defensive game plan around containing one man. Compact lines, extra cover in central midfield, defenders instructed to track Messi's movement at all times, never allow him a clean strike at goal. It was a smart plan, a disciplined plan. It lasted 17 minutes. Here is the tactical truth that Algeria and every defense that has ever faced Messi eventually discovers. You cannot outthink a problem you don't understand. Most attacking players rely on speed. They get the ball and they try to outrun the defender in a straight line. It is a simple weapon, fast, direct, but predictable. Defenses can prepare for speed. They can set traps for speed. Messi has never relied on that weapon, not even in his 20s. His real weapon is something much harder to defend against. He understands space better than anyone who has ever played the game. Watch where he positions himself before he even receives the ball. He does not stand in line with the defenders where he's easy to mark. He finds the pocket, the small gap of space between a team's midfield line and their defensive line, where neither line truly takes responsibility for him. It's like a soldier finding the one gap between two patrol units where neither unit is watching closely because they assume the other one is. Once Messi receives the ball in that pocket, defenders face an impossible decision. Step out to close him down, and you open a passing lane behind you. Stay in position, and you give him time and space to turn and attack. Either choice is a trap. For his first goal against Algeria, this is exactly what happened. He found the gap, he turned, and before the defense could reorganize, the ball was already past their goalkeeper. This is why age struggles to defeat Messi the way other players do. You can slow down a sprinter's legs. You cannot slow down a brain that has spent 30 years solving the same puzzle over and over until the solutions became instinct. There's another layer to this story, one that has nothing to do with tactics and everything to do with psychology. This match against Algeria was his 200th appearance for the Argentine national team. It came exactly 20 years to the day since his World Cup debut, back in 2006 against Serbia and Montenegro, where an 18-year-old Messi also found the back of the net. 20 years, same stage, same result. When his first goal went in against Algeria, Messi did something the cameras caught immediately. He wiped tears from his face with his shirt. Later, he explained it wasn't really about the goal. It was about everything carried into that moment. The injuries, the doubts, the long road that brought him back to this exact stage one more time. Here is why this matters tactically, not just emotionally. An opponent can build a defensive structure against a player's physical attributes. They can study his runs, his preferred foot, his shooting angles. What they cannot prepare for is a player who treats every match like it might be his last chance at history. That kind of motivation changes how a player competes for every loose ball, every second ball, every 50-50 challenge. It's not measurable on a tactics board, but every coach who has ever managed a World Cup squad will tell you, hunger like that is a weapon all its own. His hat trick also pulled him level with Germany's Miroslav Klose, the all-time leading scorer in World Cup history. 16 goals, a record set over 4 different tournaments across more than a decade. Messi reached that mark in a single match. He also became the oldest player ever to score multiple goals in one World Cup match, taking that record from Cameroon's legendary Roger Milla. Algeria's defense had prepared for a football match. What they walked into was a man writing the final chapters of his own legacy in real time and refusing to let anyone stop him from finishing the story his way.
17th minute. Messi receives the ball. No time to think. One touch. Strike. Top corner. Unstoppable. Kansas City erupts. 60th minute. The ball falls to him again. No panic, no rush. Composed finish. Second goal. Algeria's defense is breaking apart. 76th minute. One more run. One more gap exploited. Edge of the box. Bottom corner. Hat trick complete. The stadium does not just cheer, it roars. 3 minutes later, Messi is substituted. Standing ovation, every fan on their feet. Even Argentina's own bench seems stunned by what they just witnessed. Final whistle. Argentina 3, Algeria 0. One man, 3 goals, 1 World Cup record matched, and an entire tournament suddenly forced to ask the same terrifying question. If this is what Messi looks like in match 1, what does Argentina look like by the final? One match does not win a World Cup. Messi knows this better than anyone alive. He has lived through World Cups that started brilliantly and ended in heartbreak. He has also lived through a World Cup that started with a shocking defeat, Saudi Arabia 2022, and ended with him lifting the trophy. Football has taught him, more than any other player in history, that the story is never finished until the final whistle of the final match. But here is what Algeria discovered in Kansas City, and here is what every remaining opponent in this tournament now has to consider. You can build the perfect defensive plan. You can study every weakness age is supposed to bring. You can set every tactical trap the modern game has ever invented. And it might not matter, because some players do not get weaker with time. They get smarter, hungrier, more dangerous in the moments that matter most. Lionel Messi did not just score a hat trick against Algeria. He sent a message to every single team left in this tournament. The ultimate weapon has not been disarmed. It has simply been reloaded for one final war. Here is your question for today. After what you just saw, do you believe Messi and Argentina can become the 3rd team in history to win back-to-back World Cups? Drop your prediction in the comments right now. I want to see how confident this community really is. And if you want to follow every twist of this tournament, every tactical trap, every ambush, every climax, subscribe right now. We'll be breaking down every major World Cup battle, match by match, all the way to the final. This story is not finished, and neither are we.